Good morning, students. This is the third video of the chapter India after Independence, and this video has been made for class 8th. So far, we discussed that how India adopted its constitution and how important and valuable concepts were included in the Indian constitution. We came to understand various novel concepts along with their core values. And let us discuss that how the different states were formed. We need to understand when India got independence, various challenges were there in front of India. Out of that, the most serious challenge was the formation of states on the basis of language. We all know that India got independence and the cost was very high. The cost was very high in terms of separation. The India got divided into India and Pakistan on the religious lines. And thereafter, demand started for the formation of linguistic state. So let us discuss how India responded this particular challenge. Now, how were states to be formed? We need to understand back in the 1920s, the Indian National Congress, the main party of the freedom struggle, had promised that once the country would get independence, each major linguistic group would have their own province. So the promises were made in 1920 only, and the promise was that if India will get independence in the upcoming future, then every linguistic group will get its own provinces or states. However, when India got independence, the Congress did not take any step to honor these promises, for India had been divided on the basis of religion. Despite the wishes and efforts of Mahatma Gandhi, freedom had come not to one nation but to two. Now, despite various opposition from different leaders including Mahatma Gandhi, finally India got divided on the religious line into Pakistan and India. And at the same time, the promises for the formation of linguistic state could not be formed. As a result of the partition of India, more than 1 million people had been killed in riots between Hindus and Muslims. Could the country afford further division on the basis of language? Now, when the country got independence, on the religious line, it was very difficult for Indian leaders to accept the next division on the basis of language. That is why most of the leaders were not in favor of formation of linguistic states or states on the basis of language. Both Prime Minister Nehru and Deputy Prime Minister Vallabhbhai Patel were against the creation of linguistic states because already they witnessed that country got divided on the basis of religious lines. So they were not ready to accept further division on the basis of language. After the partition, Nehru said disruptionist tendencies had come to the fore. He said the nation had to be strong and united. He clearly gave his remarks that nation would be not divided, it would be united, and unity will come only when there will be no further division on any lines. That the Congress leaders would now go back on their promises created great disappointment. Now, when this news spread that Congress leaders are not going to fulfill the promises that they made in 1920s, the people became very disappointed, particularly the linguistic groups. They understood that Congress party is not going to give them freedom, they are not going to give them particular rights. So that is why the Kannada all looked forward to having their own states. Definitely we need to understand that various leaders, various Marathi speakers, various Kannada speakers, states, groups, they started demanding for their own states. When Nehru went to the campaign during the general election of 1952, he was met with black flags and slogans. When Nehru reached to attend the various rallies in South India, in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, he was welcomed with black flags. A veteran Gandhian named Potti Srimalu went on to hunger fast, demanding the formation of Andhra state to protect the interest of Telugu speakers. We need to understand at the same time the Andhra state was not formed. So various leaders were there who were demanding the formation of Andhra Pradesh on the basis of language. And one most important leader was Potti Sri Ramulu. He was a Gandhian and he told that if Andhra Pradesh would not be formed, he would go on fast unto death. And finally, we need to understand at the last went on, he attracted the much support. Finally, at the last moment, he attracted much support. Hartals and bands were organized. They were observed all over the town. We need to understand. We can easily understand through the picture. Now, on 15th of December 1952, 58 days into the fast, Potti Ramalu died. As a result, the Nehru was not ready to accept it, nor Nehru was not ready to give up his demand, give up his wish to not to form the states on the basis of language. And on the other hand, people were very rigid. They demanded that okay, states should be formed. So in the due conflict, finally Potti Sriramulu died. As a result, as the newspaper put it, the news of the passing away of Sriramulu engulfed entire Andhra Pradesh into chaos. The protests were so widespread that intense that the central government was forced to send in to the demands. Thus, on 1st of October 1953, the new state of Andhra Pradesh came into being. Now, after he died, the protest became much violent. The protest became much aggressive, and finally, the central government, decided to maintain peace there. And that is why, on 1st of October 1953, government finally decided that Andhra Pradesh would be formed as a separate state. So, this is how, after the death of Sriramulu, the Andhra Pradesh was formed in 1953. After the creation of Andhra Pradesh, other linguistic communities also demanded their own separate states. Its report in 1956. Now, further, central government organized one important commission. That commission was termed as State Reorganization Commission, and it was set up and finally it submitted its report in 1956. Now, what was there? It was written very clearly that redrawing of district, Assamese, Bengali, Uriya, Tamil, Malayalam, Kannada, and Telugu speaking. So, this is how the State Reorganization Commission was formed, and its main task is to provide suggestion to the central government for the formation of new, more linguistic state. In 1966, a state of Punjab was also divided into Punjab and Haryana. The former of the Punjabi speaking, who were mostly Sikh, they were given the Punjab. Similarly, the people who were not speaking Punjabi or they were speaking Haryanvi or Hindi, they were given the province of Haryana. This is how further the state of Punjab and Haryana was formed. Similarly, in 1960, a bilingual state of Bombay was also divided into Gujarat and Maharashtra. Gujarat was given to the Gujarati people and Marathi people speaking got the Maharashtra. So this is how further division took place and many linguistic states were formed in 1960s. Now, new states were formed, and at the time the government was thinking of the development and particularly the centralized development. So what was the planning for development? We need to understand when the new states were formed. Now we need to understand lifting India and India's out of poverty, that they are holding a modern technical and industrial base was among the major objectives of this new nation. So what was the objective? When the new nation was formed, it was decided that industry and modern equipments would be adopted in the country. In 1950, the government set up a planning commission. We need to understand that 15th of March 1915 was the day and year in which planning commission was set up with the objective to make 5-year plans for upgrading India or for modernizing India. So there was a broad agreement on which they were called a private sector would play important role and complementary roles in the increasing production and generating jobs. At the same time, through the planning, private sector was also given importance. They got equal importance with the government, and further it was decided that a balance would be maintained between the different states so that every state will flourish, every state will move ahead. In 1956, a second 5-year plan was formulated, and in that particular, most heavy industries were targeted. It was decided that heavy industrialization or industry will be given boost up. So this is how further the industries or economic sector, and particularly the secondary sector got importance through the planning. We need to understand the planning is very important, it is very crucial for development of a country, and the planning was adopted in India, and that was completely centralized because the demand was like that. And further, the planning commission was formed to formulate 5-year plan for India, and this is how India moved ahead on the track of development. So this is all about in this video. Thank you.